Vedant course. He completed the Vedant course from Pavai Ashram during 98-2000 and has been serving the mission since then. He expounds the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta through talks on the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and other texts. Children love him dearly and look forward to his annual summer camps. He inspires the youth with dynamic spirituality and encourages them to think and question. He is also well known amongst corporates. Chinmaya Sadhanalaya Pavai, an outdoor vision park and a must visit with family, was conceived and implemented by him, which inspires everyone with the vision of Vedanta, Upanishads, Gita, and Hindu culture through the life of Swami Chinmayananda. Swamiji has written and directed 2 theatrical performances. The first one is Adresha, Quest for the Unseen, based on Saraswati civilization and developed India. And the other play is named Just Like That, based on the Bhagavad Gita teaching in the life of a family. Swamiji's simplicity, foresight, peaceful nature, and a balanced approach endear him to everyone. One can follow him on the YouTube channel Chinmaya Shivam and on Instagram too. Recently, he undertook the Narmada Nadi Parikrama and has completed 1/3 of that journey. I have been fortunate to be with the mission for almost 12 years and find my anchoring with Gurudev. And I'm blessed to immensely learn from Swamiji during my interactions at various texts that I have studied with him. So would request Swamiji to give the talk on detachment at work. But before that, just a minute on the Lost Key group also. The Lost Key group is a group that I have been associated with for over 2 years now. And it's a group of corporate people with a spiritual bent of mind. Most of them are chartered accountants working with large corporates. And we meet once or twice in a month and explore the learnings from various gurus and guides from spiritual background across the globe. One can also follow them on their YouTube channel, which is the Lost Key. Swamiji, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Hemanti ji, Jagdish ji, for this wonderful opportunity. I'm very happy to address all of you in the Lost Key group. And after the year-end pressure is over, I hope right now everybody is relaxed. The first month of this new financial year. And our topic also is such, detachment at work. So before I go straight away into what detachment at work is, the first thing to understand is what detachment is not. Because that misunderstanding is there in a lot of minds. So one thing is detachment means disinterest. ये तो detach हो गया. You know, this person has lost interest in the world. Now this person is no more ambitious. You know, is no more going to be able to achieve great goals. Why? इसको तो detachment हो गया. So some people think detachment means disinterest. Some people think it is laziness. That, you know, I don't want to do anything great in life. I'm just okay with whatever I have. Why? Because you are detached, so you are contented. Or some people think that detachment means somehow get some things done, because anyway all this is Maya, what difference does it make? So जो जैसा चल रहा है चलने दो. So either a chalta hai attitude or somehow finish it. These things are actually not detachment. Detachment is a very different state. So we will come to that. What is the meaning of the word detachment? And then how do we apply it at work? Is it even applicable at work? So before we come to detachment, we have to understand what is attachment. Then we will know what is detachment. So I'm going to begin with a quiz. So I need the sharing rights, the share screen rights. Or you can make me co-host if you can.
Jagdish, you are on mute.
Yeah, can you make him co-host, Nitin?
Next to my name, that more button will have that
Yes,
option.
yes, yes. I can see that. Yeah.
Thank you. Uh, 1 minute. Yes. So what you have to do is, these questions that you will see on the screen, you can use the chat window to type yes or no. Okay. These questions are generic questions. Don't apply it only to your scenario. We are trying to understand us through an example. It need not necessarily apply to you, but we are trying to understand. So for example, I must have coffee first thing in the morning. Whether you have coffee first thing or not is not the question here. Is this statement a statement of attachment? I must have coffee first thing in the morning. Is it a statement indicating attachment? Yes or no? Type. Okay. 3 people have said yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. I think most will say yes. Okay. Exercises are a must in one's life. Is it attachment?
No.
Okay. Okay. Somebody says yes. Oh. Now let us see. I want to be successful. Is it attachment? Wanting success, is it attachment? Yes. See, so exercises are a must in one's life. That is not an attachment. Exercise is a need for the body. Same way, I want to be successful. That does not mean I'm attached to success. Wanting success is a natural thing. Anybody will want success in whatever they do. But attachment comes in when I feel that unless I become successful, I am not happy, or my self-worth depends on that success. Then there is an attachment to success. Otherwise, wanting success by itself is not attachment. Without friends, I cannot be happy. Quickly, you have to be like fastest fingers fast, type fatafat. Yes, it is an attachment. I have to work daily. It is not attachment. That's my duty. I have work to do. I go to work. So I depend on the maid or servants for work. Attachment or not? Yes. A lot of times our mood through the day is determined by the servant coming or not coming, coming on time, not coming on time. Many things depend on that. I need the car to travel. Attachment or not? Yes. Just because the word need is there does not mean it is not an attachment. I can travel in many other ways also. But if I say no, only in car I will travel, then that's a psychological insistence. That's an attachment. So cell phone is necessary to communicate. Not an attachment. It is an attachment. There are 100 ways to communicate. Cell phone is one of them. If I feel that only with cell phone I can communicate, then it's attachment. If I just know that, okay, it's one more tool, then it is not an attachment. My work is my passion. Is it attachment? No. Right. I feel miserable if I don't do my spiritual practice daily. Oh, many are saying no. One or two are saying yes. No idea. I feel miserable if I don't do my spiritual practice daily. That's an attachment. The purpose of spiritual practices is to make my mind calm, balanced, peaceful, and for some reason, if it didn't happen not because of my laziness, it didn't happen today, and I feel bad about it, then there is an attachment I've developed. I should take medicines for my blood pressure. Is it attachment? No, it is not. I look forward to the company of my beloved. Attachment? Yes. You look forward to the company of the beloved. How is it attachment? You feel happy, you want to meet your beloved after your work or whenever. That's not an attachment. I love pizzas, burgers, french fries, pasta. Is it attachment? Yes. There's nothing wrong in loving any type of food you want. I mean, you feel happy about. It's not necessary that because I like something, I'm attached to it. I can like many things without being attached to it also. I can love them without being attached also. Money is most important, and without it, nothing happens. Is it attachment? It is attachment. Money is important. It has certain relevance, financial value. It has certain buying power, etc. But without it, nothing happens. Nah. Today, that's the tragedy. For money, we sacrifice relationships, love, happiness, so many things. My child is my life. Attachment? Yes. I am not able to drop work when I have to. Is it attachment? It is an attachment. I should be able to let go when I want to. My guru will give me moksha. Is it attachment? Oh, so many are saying no. This guru will have deep trouble then. Guru will not give you moksha. Moksha is to be attained by oneself only. Guru can give knowledge. That's all. Guru's responsibility is not to give you moksha. So, what is the point of doing this whole exercise? To understand what is attachment exactly. Attachment is a psychological dependency on things, happiness, people for situations, and situations for happiness. It's a psychological dependency. Functional dependency, there is no problem. If I functionally depend that I have given tasks to somebody, that person has to finish the task. If my team member is there, I have to finish, that person has to finish the task. Now, there is a dependency, there is a certain delegation of work that has happened, and I expect that person to complete it. That is not called attachment because there's a functional dependency there. But when it becomes a psychological dependency that I cannot do work without that person, or that person becomes so indispensable that the work comes to a standstill or it gets affected terribly, then there is an attachment that has got created. A psychological attachment that sometimes even one loses one's own capabilities because one has got so attached to the person doing it that one has stopped doing that work. Then one has become attached there. So that's a psychological dependency. That is what we call as attachment. And so here is a very nice video of Swami Chinmaya where he explains this attachment in this short clip.
Attachment is very well known to every one of you. Every one of us have got some attachment or the other. But the attachment of each individual may be different from each other. You are attached to the mother, another is attached to the father, another is attached to the wife, another is attached to the children. Some are attached to their profession, some are attached to power, some are attached to money, wealth. No, Swamiji, you have never told what my attachment is. I am not attached to all these things. Then in that case you are attached to your dog. That is right. I am attached to my dog. Without some attachment you cannot live. If any one of you say that, Swamiji, I have no attachments, all that I can tell you is, lie down there, after the lectures we will attend to your funeral. Why? When there is no attachment, you are dead. Attachment everyone has got. Every one of you think of your attachment. Whatever be that attachment, and try to verbalize what do you mean by attachment. Attachment is a feeling. Luckily it is not physical. If physically you and I are attached to things, you can't move about. Because I am attached to my wife and my children and my property and my factory, my business or my house. How can you move attached? It's not physical. It's the mental. Analyze. What do you mean by in the mind an attachment? A mere thought. A stream of thought by which we tie ourselves to things and beings in the world outside. So when I say that I am attached to mother or father, whatever it is, it means that I am complete only with that being or thing, minus that being or thing, I am the less for it. I'm not complete in myself. I plus my mother, life is wonderful. Minus my mother, I don't know what to do. I and my wife, beautiful life. Minus my wife, I have no hope of getting another wife. Silly feeling, just a feeling. Thing is called attachment. So attachment is a thought bondage, which means, that thought bondage, what is it? It includes I plus I want. Think again and again before taking down your notes. Think! I plus I want. This feeling towards anything in the world or any being in the world is called attachment.
Okay, so that is what Gurudev defined as attachment. The thought bondage where the feeling is I plus I want and I psychologically depend on it for my happiness. Now, why is this important in our life? Because when I depend psychologically, I become weak, I become vulnerable. I start, whatever I'm attached to, it will make me biased towards that. And I won't be able to do my best, my duty. For example, if I'm attached to, let us say, browsing till late in the night. Now, I know tomorrow morning is an important day. I have important meetings to attend, lot of work to finish, to-do list is very big. But I'm attached to browsing. So I still keep browsing, and then I wake up late, I hurry, I reach late. So many things happen. Just because I'm attached, it will affect my productivity, it will affect my mental state. It may make me distracted from my duties. It may affect my relationship with others also. When we get attached to a certain person, then we are not being able to be impartial and objective towards all. We will have a certain bias towards a certain person. If we get attached to certain ideology, like we see so many times, what is truth is something else. But people who ascribe to a certain ideology are so fanatic about that ideology, they will just get attached to that and they will harm themselves, hurt others also. So a lot of destruction happens because of attachment of one's own potential, of the work productivity, of relationships in the society, in harmony. A lot of troubles come because of attachment. It makes us weak, it makes us insecure, it makes us cling and dependent. Attachment can be of different types also. So right now here, just to understand the need for detachment, because if I want success, if I want productivity to be high, if I want teamwork to be great, then detachment is a necessary quality. Detachment is not limited only to sadhus and sannyasis and people who have renounced. That's what we think about detachment, that detachment means it is meant for these people. We want ambition, achievement, success, goals, results, timelines. Detachment is not for us. Vedanta says, no, detachment is a quality of the mind that everyone requires. A sportsperson requires detachment, a child requires detachment, a professional requires detachment, a homemaker requires detachment, everybody requires detachment. Why? because it's a state of mind where one is objective, one is anchored within, one is not dependent on things outside for one's self-worth and one's happiness. And that is what one operates from strength. Today we depend on so many people. Somebody makes a passing comment about me, some negative comment, and my self-esteem goes through trouble. I feel low about myself. I don't feel motivated. If somebody did not give me a promotion that I deserve, then I feel victimized. I feel that, this is the whole world is very partial and there is no righteousness here. And so many times our mind plays all these tricks. So we need detachment for our anchoring within. We need detachment so that we remain focused on the work at hand and temptations and distractions we are able to avoid. We need detachment to have good relationships. In Mahabharata, the classic example is that everybody is attached to something or the other, and that attachment becomes the cause of their fall. Dhritarashtra is attached to his son, Dronacharya is attached to his son, Bhishma is attached to his oath, Arjuna is attached to Bhishma and Drona, Yudhishthira is attached to Dharma. Each one is attached to something or the other. Karna is attached to his own abandonment in childhood. He was abandoned in childhood. Now he is carrying that victim mindset throughout his life. Continuously you will see any person is limited by their attachments. So if I want to come out of that limitation, detachment is a very, very important quality. Now, also one more point to understand is attachment does not operate individually. Attachment has its own attachments also. So with attachment comes the 6 other attachments, 6 other negativities: selfishness, greed, anger, intoxication, delusion, jealousy. All this will come. So that mind which is attached will always be in agitation. How will that mind perform well? The secret of all success and achievement, whether in material world or spiritual world, is the mind must be calm, quiet, focused, objective. These are the 4 qualities the mind must have: calm and quiet, focused, objective, and pure. If this mind has these qualities, anything is possible. Now, how do we practice this detachment? Now we have seen what is attachment, why we should be detached, what is the importance of detachment. Now we will see how to practice detachment in life, especially at work. One interesting thing I read somewhere was, even in a phone and in a computer, virus comes through attachment. So we have to scan. All attachments have to be scanned. Otherwise, virus comes through that attachment, destroys your data, operating system, everything goes for a toss. So what is detachment? Now 3 words we should become clear about. Disinterested people would say, who cares and why should I bother? I don't want to do anything. That is laziness, tamoguna. That is not detachment. Desperate or dependent people will say, until I don't get this particular result, I am not happy. But the detached people will say, yes, I need a particular result. I will focus on the process and do the best. And then I leave the rest. Whatever results come, I will face it. So detachment, if we have to summarize, if in this whole talk, if there is one take home you must have, which will benefit you, is this one line. Swami Chinmaya said, do the best and leave the rest. Many times we get so anxious for the result that we are not able to do our best. We have to be result oriented, there is no doubt, but to get that result, we cannot be only result oriented. We have to be process oriented. If processes are taken care of properly, result will come. And if it doesn't come, we can always learn, we can always improve, but at least one will not be anxious and worried, because one is focusing on the process and one has ensured that these processes are taken care of properly. Then the ultimate result, whatever has to be, it will come. So now, detachment at work. How do we apply the detachment at work? First and foremost, detachment is born from us attitude, from the clarity that we have. And what is the clarity that we need? Why do we work? Quickly, anyone, put up in your chat window. Why do we work? Earning, excellent. Yes, need to contribute, to serve, to fulfill desires, wonderful. Sustenance and help people, to express talent, excellent. I'm very happy so many practical answers you have given. Otherwise, some philosophical answers start coming because the Swami is talking, then people start thinking like that. Yes, we work for livelihood. There is no question about that. So we work to earn, we work for success, we work to channelize our potential, we work for making a difference, to feed ourselves and our family, for realizing an ideal. We want to establish something glorious in the world. We want to make a difference in the world, to add value to oneself and organization. Yes, that's the idea. But tell me, all this, when I achieve all of this, any of this, what will it make me? What is the net result of all this? Why do I want this? I will be a happy person. Ultimately, we work for happiness and love. If this clarity is there, then I know that my work is not just for money. My work is not just for promotion. My work is not just for a position there or some applause or appreciation. That is one part of my work. But am I happy? Because ultimately, I don't want these other things. I want happiness. I want to be loved. I want to feel loved. I want to feel good about myself. First step of detachment is this. The clarity when I have, then detachment comes. Otherwise, we get stuck in certain things, losing the bigger picture. Detachment is to keep the bigger picture and then focus on the specific process. Like what they say in corporate world, think global, act local. In some ways, you can apply this in this detachment realm also. Keep the macro picture in mind, that what is the ultimate thing. Like, see, we get stressed about for a particular result, that this has to happen by this time. If it doesn't happen, XYZ will go wrong. So I can prepare myself for it well, and I want that, very important it is. But it is not more important than the very purpose for which I want, and that is happiness. So many times youngsters today, unfortunately, they are going through so many challenges at the mental level. So mental health has become such an important issue today, because sometimes this bigger picture, this clarity is not there. So if one doesn't get particular results and admission in a particular university, one feels devastated, shattered. If some person does not accept their proposal or agree to the being in a relationship with them, they feel life is only wasted completely, and then they get into drugs, depression, suicide, whatnot happens. So why that is happening? Because the bigger picture is not clear. So detachment comes from clarity. That is number one. So to me, it should be very clear that why am I working? I am working ultimately for happiness and love. Then I have the ability to accept whatever comes my way and not get completely overwhelmed by the result. Second, how do I be detached at work? Detachment comes when I have this attitude of accepting challenges. Let challenges come on my way. People who are attached are scared. People who are detached are not scared. And great work can happen only when one is able to go beyond the comfort zones and accept challenge. All of us have to work. Gurudev used to say, action is a signature of life. And the higher we rise in life, the greater will be our responsibilities. It is the weak mind which will say, if my job was easier, I would be happy. The strong mind would say that challenges, in the absence of challenges, then life is boring. I thrive on challenges. I'm happy to accept challenges. Let them come. Let me, go beyond my shell, beyond my comfort zone. Recently Elon Musk, he announced that he is taking over Twitter. Now just look at that person. What all he has achieved, how many things he has achieved When people say think out of the box, here is one person who doesn't think also there is a box. Just think about it. SpaceX and PayPal and whatnot, and now Twitter, one by one by one. And in one lifetime, in this short span of life, why? Because the mind of that person is not a mind which is thinking small. It is a mind which is open to accepting challenges. In the Bhajagovindam comes a very nice line, Kasya sukham na karoti viragaha. What happiness is not available to a person who has this attitude of detachment. And another statement in Vairagya Shadakam is, Vairagyameva abhayam. A person who has detachment is fearless. In attachment, we are scared. We want to protect whatever I have because I'm very attached to that. Not that in detachment we will not protect what we have, but we are not scared. We will do what needs to be done to protect. But we will not be bound by that. We will take risk. We may lose some things also. And that's how growth will happen. So second aspect is this. People who have detachment are willing to take risk, willing to accept challenges, willing to break boundaries, willing to go out of comfort zone. That is the power of detachment. Attached people can't do that. Attached people will cling and they will want to get into a comfort zone and then stay there. Third, what does my work mean to me? That will determine also how much detachment I have. So is my work only a job where I go do the job, I get the financial reward, I come back? What that job is, what difference does it make to people, or how does it help me to manifest my potential? Not bothered about that. Money is the main thing. Even if it is something that I don't like to do, but I have to do it, so I'm going to go and do it. And I'm not even going to look for any of the alternatives. Now I'm getting the money, so I'm settling down for that. Or is my job or my career that I want to climb the career ladder and get promotions and keep rising higher and higher in that, what they call the vertical growth. So am I motivated by that? Nothing wrong in being motivated in that way. Or is it also my calling? It is a career, no doubt, but it is also my calling. So it's a job, it's a career, but it's my calling mainly. Where my focus is, the work itself is the fulfillment. I do what I really love and I enjoy that process. And my work makes me so fulfilled and so happy. That person will achieve great success. There is this video of Sean Aker, you can see on YouTube. Sean Aker, he wrote the book, The Happiness Advantage. He is a professor in Harvard and he has done so much research on some 2000 plus people. And what he found, that many times our equation in our mind is, when I become successful, then I will be happy. But he says actually it is the opposite. After doing research on 2000 people, he came to that conclusion. He said actually it is, if I am happy, then I will become successful. Which is what Vedanta has been saying, that first focus on that. What is your inner calling? If you love the job, which we say in the Gita, Swadharma. In the Gita, Bhagavan goes to that extent of saying, Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha, paradharma bhayavaha. Oh Arjun, to die in one's own Swadharma is better than imitating somebody else's dharma which you are not made for. There he is saying, of course, to die because there's a battle scene out there. But otherwise, it is always better to anchor in what one is made for. Maybe one may earn something less. Eventually, that will also make up. But just because there is some more money in some other profession, I am not made for it. I don't need to do that. I should find my calling. If I'm experimenting, I have not yet found, that's a different matter. But my focus should be on what is my inner calling. Because this detachment and love, they go together. We think that love and attachment go together. But no. Detachment and love go together. The more detached I am, the more loving I will be. The more I invoke love in my heart and the work invokes love in my heart, the more stronger, more happier, and more detached I will be. So it's not necessary that people who are detached, they are not loving, they are not warm, they are not caring. No, no. In fact, that is the definition of love. Love is identification with the beloved, where I am not more important than the beloved. That is the true state of love, which means I'm detached from my insistence, my expectations, and beloved is more important. So in the same way, the work is more important to me, and in that work I lose myself. Whatever are the extra benefits, they will come. Money will come, power will come, promotion will come, fame will come, but I love that very work. Then I can be detached from the result that I am depending upon, and I can focus on the work. So this is my inner calling. What is my inner calling? I have to ask myself that question. And am I doing work which is aligned with my inner calling? Then naturally I will have detachment. So these are three aspects, three ways to be detached at work. First one, be clear about what is the purpose of work. Second one, have an open mind to accept challenges. Third, find out what is that work which is my inner calling, which is answering my inner calling. Fourth, in that work which is as per my inner calling, set a vision which is high. Swami Chinmaya used to say that a single inspiring ideal can transform a listless man into a towering leader of men. What is the ideal to which I am committed? Suppose many of you are CAs. Now, what is the ideal for which you are committed? To ensure the integrity in the individual's accounts or in the company's accounts, whatever that is. That is one higher ideal. To ensure that people, they the country benefits as well as the individual benefits. If we are able to ensure that people pay proper taxes and the countries, whatever the tax revenues are there, the country is able to get, and through that country also develops. As well as if there are some practices where the people need some more help, maybe there's forums are there whereby to the government things can be put, make these changes, this is to be modified, this is not very helpful or whatever, in GST and all that they keep doing. With my limited experience, what I'm just sharing. So like that, if one can be that type of one has that ideal. I mean, one can choose whatever ideal one wants to, that my work contributes in a deeper way, in a meaningful way to the quality of the life of people, makes them more happy, makes them more positive, then that is a vision. So work may be certain things, but the vision behind that the impact that their work creates, that will give me more and more satisfaction. So that is the detachment. So set an impersonal vision. Think more than this I, what they call that, in management, that's what they say, think beyond yourself. So think big, think about the positive impact that your vision and work can create. And this is possible only when I am secure within myself. If I myself am not secure, where will I think of country or the people or, making a difference? It will only be lip service or just for some feel good factor. Deep down, I don't, operate out of that selflessness. Think futuristic and be innovative. This detachment is that quality which will help us to do that. And today's age, when things are changing so rapidly, so many companies have this value, innovation is their value. One of the values they will follow, core values they will have is innovation. How can one be innovative unless one is ready to break away from the norm and willing to change and willing to experiment? So if I have to think futuristic, I must have that ability to detach from the past as well as in the present. I must have the ability to imagine what are the demands that future will bring and how will I cater to it from now. Even in terms of subjective skills, not just the external technology and development in, the comforts and conveniences. even in terms of internal skills, internal mindsets. What is the world doing today, and what is that impact that we are, seeing in the world? What will escalate, and how will I be able to fulfill that demand? Like 21st century definitely belongs to India and China. There's no question about that. How are we making ourselves ready and our youngsters ready for that? That has to be a thought very clearly. Now, how will I be able to think that? Only when I understand very clearly what has been the past, what is the present, and now what will be the future. And then I can work towards that. Detachment is that ability to be flexible. That's the beauty of detachment. Rigidity is attachment, flexibility is detachment. So if I am able to be flexible, so many things are possible to be achieved. And that's why I think futuristic, be innovative, predict what will be the need, or even create a need, and then see how people take it up. So all this requires the detachment. Even in the vision aspect, while setting an impersonal vision also, many times it is good to take suggestions. Many people are very close to even this idea. They will do everything only by themselves and their thinking. They don't want even anybody's suggestion because they think it is below their dignity to even listen to some people's suggestions. They say, no, I know better. I have been leading this company for such a long time. I don't need your inputs and all that. Take inputs. That requires detachment. That requires humility. Again, humility and detachment go together. So listen with an open mind to suggestion, get feedback from your team, from various stakeholders, think about what your critics or your competitors would think about. So you get a different perspective, not only from your standpoint, what from the opposite standpoint the people can think. So if we think that way, what they call nowadays 360 degree, we will get a certain balanced view. And many things we may not have thought, those ideas we will get, and then a proper vision can be formed. Proper plan of action can be made. So all this requires detachment. So it is not that detachment is applicable only to renunciates. It is very much applicable at work. Now we come to specific action wise. So we have seen vision wise, we have seen attitude wise. Now we will see execution wise. Detachment is required to plan. Gurudev used to say, plan out your work and work out your plan. In that, the first one is still easy. A lot of people are experts in doing planning. At this time, I will do this. At this time, I will do this. By this time, this and this processes should be over. Then we will go on to this. But in working out the plan, what messes up everything is attachment. Even students, they make their plan, exam is coming up. So today I will study maths for 20 minutes, English for 30 minutes, and maybe science for 1 hour. Full plan is made. But then IPL is going on, and then the IPL one starts watching, and then mind has got distracted. So in working out the plan, if I don't have detachment towards my senses, towards my temptations, towards even phone or computer or friends, anything, very easily the mind gets distracted. Detachment plays a big role to bring that mind into focus. That I am temporarily able to at least saying no, I have work to do. I'm not going to pay attention to this, and I'm going to focus on the work that I have to do. That ability to say no to the mind, that comes from detachment. An attached mind will be a helpless victim. It knows it is wrong, but it will still go and do it. It knows that this will take away my time, but one will still go and do it. So in attachment, one is a victim. In detachment, one is able to control. One is able to focus. So that's detachment in execution. What we saw earlier, do the best and leave the rest. In execution, we can also modify that to say that do the best without compromises. A person who has detachment will have highest standards, will not compromise. Attachment makes us compromise. Suppose I'm attached to sleep. Now, if I would have got up at 6 o'clock, I would have been able to do, let us say, 5 kilometers of walk as per my plan. Now I'm attached to sleep. My body has rested enough, but still I am taking 15 minutes more, 20 minutes more to get up. But I have limited time. So now that day I can't finish 5 kilometers. I have to do only 3 kilometers. Now I compromised. Why? Because attachment to sleep made me compromise. So we will have questions at the end, last 5-10 minutes. I will just finish this one sequence and then we will take up. So detachment, do the best without compromise. And that comes when we drop certain attachment to personal comfort. I'm not saying our life should not be comfortable at all, or we should not have comfort in life. This attachment to personal comfort, shortcuts one wants to take, bypass certain quality standards or certain processes, and just do some things just because I want to get it in certain way in certain time. So then compromise happens because there's an attachment. And the third aspect here in execution is do smart work, not mere hard work. This many of you know. Earlier, people used to value hard work a lot. This person is sitting for 10 hours, even 12 hours. He doesn't see the clock, just doing so much of work. But today we understand that smart work is important, not hard work. Hard work is a part of smart work, no doubt. But if one says that I'm not working smart, if I'm not using technology, or if I'm not willing to learn new skills, if I'm not ready to delegate, I want to do all by myself, then that is unnecessary hard work. Better it is I learn to use technology, learn to delegate, learn to work together as a team, do smart work and achieve the goals. So this is in execution. One more point in execution is to do one thing at a time. This is most important and very practical application of detachment is this. Swamiji used to say, bring your mind where your hands are. Lot of times we think nowadays that multitasking is a good skill to have. And people write in their CVs also, multitasking, I'm a multitasker. But multitasking comes at a very huge cost because there is nothing called multitasking actually speaking. What the brain is doing is only switch tasking. So suppose I am watching television and eating food. Then my brain is switching between watching and eating. It's not doing two things at the same time. The attention is switching. If I'm listening to music and I'm writing something, attention is switching. If I'm driving a car and talking on the cell phone, attention is switching. If I'm doing some work of my office on the computer, then there are lots of notifications and emails and this chat windows and all that, they keep popping up. Now my attention is switching between all these. So actually there is nothing called multitasking. It is only switch tasking. And you see some research that has been done where they show this. Average person checks their phone 150 times per day and their temptation is so much that they can't focus. Average time spent on a task before interruption is only 1 minute 15 seconds. Can you believe that? In 1 minute 15 seconds, so easily the mind gets distracted. Some notification comes, some temptation is there, some social media I want to check. And with one such interruption, it takes 25 minutes on an average to resume a task after being interrupted. Now think about the productivity costs. So what they have calculated is this. Multitaskers experience a 40% dip in productivity across the board. They take 50% longer to accomplish a single task. Where people do multitasking because they want to save time, actually they spend more time. If you had eaten that meal, you would have finished in 5 minutes. But if you are watching with the TV and eating, that same thing will take 20 minutes. And they make up to 50% more errors also. Now, correcting those errors, that time required for it, resources required for it, all that is extra cost. And they have put up all that in numbers also. So heavy multitasking can temporarily lower IQ by up to 15 points. See that? And it is 3 times more than the effect of smoking weed. Just look at that impact of multitasking. All this is, see that, 92% of people attending the meetings, they said that they multitask during the meetings. Even right now, when this talk is going on, multitasking must be happening. A lot of people must be doing multitasking. Because our mind has now got very habituated to that. Doing more than one thing, it has become a lifestyle. So we have to understand that if I want efficiency and if I want even mental peace, I need to learn to focus. In psychology, they have a capability called executive control. The mind has this capability, the brain has this capability called executive control, where if I am focusing on a specific work, let us say I am watching television and my mind is saying that I am just relaxing watching television. Then when it is focusing on the television, it is blocking out so many other things. And so the energy that the mind spends in that focused activity is much, much lesser. In multitasking, this executive control ability starts becoming lesser because the mind doesn't know what to exclude. Because one is doing more than one thing at a time, it will keep many things in the mind and the brain. That's why multitasking is more stressful, more pressurizing, more time it takes, more error also one commits, and less one enjoys. So Vedanta says, do one thing at a time, and that time focus fully on that task. That is called detachment. Focus and detachment go together. In the Gita, Bhagavan says that, Bahushakha yanantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. The mind which is not single pointed, there the mind keeps on wandering in 100 directions, it dissipates its energy. And what is the definition of yoga in the Gita? Yoga karmasu kaushalam. The definition is dexterity in action is yoga. So these are 5 aspects of detachment at work. Always do more than you are paid for, and one day you will be paid for more than you do. This is the attitude of giving, of good service, of being cheerful. When we become casual, then things start to collapse. And in some ways, nature will also get back, law of karma also will get back, and laziness, arrogance, all that gets punished. So these ways by which we apply detachment in our at work. Detachment can be applicable even in teamwork. That how when I am detached, then I can be a good team player. People who are selfish, who are individualistic thinkers, they can't be good team players because they have a lot of attachments. So I can be a team player, I can speak positively, I can motivate, I can inspire and keep the team together. Even if I criticize the performance and I encourage the performer. If somebody criticizes me, I don't take it personally. I learn what I have to learn from it, and I let go of any personal comments which have been made. So that way detachment is very helpful at work, even in our relationships. A lot of organizations go through change. Some acquisition happens, a particular organization acquires another one, or some transition happens in that organization. They increase their goals, increase their scope, venture into a new field. And what happens at such times? The ability to adapt to change, that also requires detachment. How do I adapt to change? I adapt to change when I am open. And that's why this ability of detachment is very, very important, because new company, new culture, new people, new mindsets I have to deal with. So that continuous change, if I have to face, I need detachment. I can't be stuck. I can't be attached. So even acquisitions, transitions, they require. And dedicating any action to a higher purpose also requires detachment. Where I say I don't do it only for myself, I do it for myself also, but I do it for the stakeholders, for the company, for the employees, for the shareholders, for the country. In Vedanta, we say the highest is you dedicate it to the Lord, the Supreme, that I am doing this, Bhagwan put me here, I am doing my best as my offering to Bhagwan. I am not here to get people's applause or praises alone. I am here to serve the Supreme in the best way I can. That attitude is called Karma Yoga. So these are 8 applications of detachment at work, and I will conclude with the result. What is the result? The attachment to the result creates all anxiety in our mind. When a person has detachment, then that person is able to accept results with more contentment, cheerfulness, gratitude, equanimity. That is called prasada buddhi. In a temple, whatever prasad we get, we accept. We don't complain saying, I got peda, that person got bundi laddu. I don't want this peda, you give me that laddu. Whatever comes, one accepts. Same way, I do my best. Whatever results come, I accept gracefully. So I allow my actions to determine my life. I am not dependent on the results. And this attitude is called with or without. In layman's language, this with or without is called detachment. Wow attitude it is. So if I got a particular promotion, wow. If I did not get, wow. If I got a particular car, wow. If I couldn't buy it, wow. If I go home and my spouse smiles, wow. If my spouse doesn't smile, wow. I don't allow the results to bother me. I may find out what happened, why anything wrong has happened, why this I did not get, or why this spouse has not smiled, or what is the problem. Those things I can do. But internally, balanced, equanimous. And that result acceptance is a very, very important quality today, because otherwise small things make us so upset, and certain disappointments, and we just give up. People who have the ability to be detached, they will never attach their self-worth with their work. I am an independent entity, very worthy of all love, happiness, peace, no matter how much successful externally I have been or not been. I still am a worthy human being. If I don't achieve success, does not mean I am unworthy. And if I achieve success, does not mean I am any superior to somebody else. So I will end with this fabulous video of Jack Ma and see how he handled failures and so many things that we spoke about in today's session. Most of it you will see somewhere or the other he has applied.
I did not have a rich father. I tried 3 times for university. All failed. I applied for Harvard for 10 times. All failed. They don't even want to see me. For the last time, I went to the teachers' college, which was considered the 3rd or 4th class of my city. So I applied jobs for 30 times, got rejected. It was so difficult at that time. I was so frustrated because I taught in the university. My pay was $10 a month because I could not find a good job. In 1994, discussed that I'm going to do something called internet. And 23 of them against it. They said, this is a stupid idea. We have never heard about internet, and you know nothing about computer. And I never thought I was smart. Nobody believed that I could be successful because everybody said, well, this guy think differently, think crazily, they think about something that never work. I tried to borrow $3,000 from the banks. Took me 3 months, but I still cannot get it. We talked to over 30 or 40 venture capitalists. Everybody said, no, forget it. A lot of people said Alibaba is a terrible model. As I said, I believe it. I think this thing could be big if we keep on working. I never thought it would be that big like today. But I believe that something is waiting for me there. And I have to work hard to prove myself. That was the tough experience. So we gathered 50,000 US dollars from 18 founders. We started. For the first 3 years, we did not have even $1 revenue from our business. It was not easy.
You don't make any money. You've got extraordinary claims, and yet you make nothing. That's the internet. Yes, but what's the point? Are you a millionaire? Now? No. Do you want to be? I hope.
But why it keeps us going ahead, going forward? Because I received lots of email of thanks from the customers. They say, this is such a great thing. We cannot pay you, but this thing helped us. If you keep on helping us, one day you will be successful, and I believe this. Little by little, we build up our business. Little by little, we build up our ecosystem of the infrastructure. And now, after 16 years, we have an Alibaba group, we have a Tmall group, we have a Taobao group, we have Alipay. And people said, you are so smart. How could you make a company like that? Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Jack Welch, Larry Page, Mark Zuckerberg. The difference between those people and other people, they are always optimistic for the future. They never complain. They always try to solve the problems of the others. When you're optimistic, it's always opportunity. People, same here today. Jack, where is the opportunity? I don't have a job. I don't have this, I don't have that. The best assets you have is that you are young. Don't complain. Let the other people complain. The opportunity always lies where people complain. Think about how you can make things different. And then when you think about this, start to do it. I saw a lot of people, young people, have fantastic ideas every evening. But in the morning, they go to the office same again. If you really want to be an entrepreneur, you have to do the things before the other people do. You have to wake up before the other people wake up. You have to be more brave than the others. When I was young, I went to Hangzhou West Lake. There's a hotel. Many foreign visitors visit there. And I went there every morning, 5 o'clock, to practice my English. The foreign visitors come, I practice my English. I don't know why at that time. But I found everything the foreign visitors told me are so different from the things my parents told me, my teacher told me, and the newspaper I read. So since then, I think everything use my own brain. Use your own brain to think. To everybody, to any person, tomorrow is new. Make the move, make the action. Whether investors believe it this or not, whether your friends believe it or not, whether your parents believe it or not, that's not important. You believe it, your team believe it, and work day and night on this. Make enough mistakes. You fall, you stand up. If you really want to work for yourself, think about the others, because only when the other people are successful, when the other people are happy, you will be successful, you will be happy. Don't worry about the money. Money follow the people. People should follow the dreams. If you have a dream, just to go ahead.
So that was it. How beautiful, nah? So many things we spoke about how he practices. You should have a dream, you make difference, you help people out, have faith in yourselves. Such nice qualities. So that's where we stop. If you have any questions, you want to share anything, you're welcome.
Yeah, Swamiji, I just wanted to know, a lot of people generally, are taking up jobs which they don't like, and they have been, because of the work pressure, they keep on doing it. So here, I mean, they don't like the job. So will that be like still called as attachment, or, how do you make such people feel detached? That they still go to the job because the work requires them to earn, and they have no other skill sets other than doing that work only. For example, an accountant, he has not done his CA, but he still wants to do that job and hold on to the job. But then he has been told to do 12 hours, 16 hours a day, and he has to do it. How can such a person be detached?
Yes, so detachment there will be that one has to expand one's skill set. The attachment is down, as you said, that person is not learning anything else. That's an attachment. I have to improve now. If I, and especially if I am not aware of my inner calling and I'm just doing something for because it needs to be done, then I need to find my inner calling. Along with the work that I'm doing, I need to spend time to find what am I really made for, and then gradually possibly shift. Like Jack Ma's example itself, if I have to give you practically just now what we saw, he was working for $10 a month in the school. But he didn't get stuck there. He said, now this I need to do because I don't have money, so I'm doing it. But he had a dream and he started working on that. And then that's how he became what he became. So that's the thing that one has to understand. Attachment there is this only, that one has got then stuck to that particular thing and then one is not coming out. So one has to be made aware, okay, these are your potentials, or you explore these things, speak to that person, try to make that person open enough, and if required, do some things together, so that the person does not necessarily feel that, okay, I'm alone, I have to do it all by myself. Maybe some people get together, help him out to explore some things. So that is called detachment there.
Wonderful. Thanks, Swamiji. Yeah. Any questions, please?
Okay, so I think we can end the session here. It was nice to share with all of you. Thank you very much. Let us ensure that whatever possible, in whichever ways, it's a continuous journey. We apply detachment, achieve great success and happiness, and make a world a better place. Thank you very much. Hari Om.
So thank you, Swamiji, for this beautiful speech. I mean, we learned so many things in this last 1 hour. And your perspective of detachment was completely different from what we actually thought. We always felt that what you rightly said, like detachment is for the yogis, and that we work, your perspective was completely different. Especially the one I liked was on the calling, where you said if you get to know your calling and then you work, and that makes you happy and contribute to others to solve a problem. So that is where the actual detachment happens. So I think this perspective is really wonderful, and I thank you for bringing this to all of us. And wonderful, Swamiji. We'll call you once again for such a enlightening speech once again, because the Dil Mange More.
Thank you
so
very much.
yeah, thank you so much.
If I can request everyone to put on their videos, we can take a Zoom fee. Zoom fee means all the group who is in the Zoom will take a picture just for the records.
Everybody, can you come on this Zoom, please? Yeah.
Then just put on your video for a moment and then we are done. Thank you. Dil mange more, again attachment. Dil mange more is not attachment. Specifically at a specific time only, and only certain types of people, then that is attachment. All right, best wishes everyone. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Hari
much.
Om.